Hey guys, Chris here with a quick belt video on a belt that I picked up recently and recently releathered as well. And that is a TNA Wildcat replica. And this is an official TNA replica belt, which is really cool. I don't see these very often in my neck of the woods. So I was very excited to pick it up. And I also don't usually see these in somewhat decent condition as well. Because unfortunately, these TNA belts were, for some reason, really prone to plate degradation issues. And not only that, but also serious strap problems too on the stock strap. So this one has been re-leathered and it's come out nicely. Now the plates aren't perfect. There are still some little spots there you can see. But all in all, I'm still quite pleased with it. I've been wanting one for a while. And last time I went looking for one, I actually came across a TNA Midwest heavyweight championship, which is great, but I was really after this one. So really cool belt. I will go into the strap first because I think that's probably a good place to start. So I still have the strap that it came on. You can probably see these straps don't fare all that well. And I'll show you why. But you can definitely tell it's a Wildcat belt by the way these snaps are spaced apart. They're very close together. And they've gone for the peculiar count of a 2x6 snap box, which is pretty unique. Usually it's either 2x5 or 2x10 or 2x8. 2x6 is what they went for. And the same on the other side, it's a 2x5. The belt was signed by Jeff Hardy as well. It's kind of cool. But yeah, these straps, unfortunately, just fall apart really easy. I don't know what glue they used on the back, but it just comes apart super easy. Like without even trying and look, there's just large pieces of it coming apart already. But I noticed here you can actually see the cardboard inside it. So when people were soaking their straps or putting shaving cream on their straps, they're actually just soaking this middle piece, which would get really wet and of course would lead to a floppy strap, but then it would just attract lots of mold and not do too well in the middle. So yeah, the straps aren't great, unfortunately, but it is cool seeing a TNA official replica patch with Wildcat there. So of course they don't sell these anymore, so it's kind of cool seeing that official little patch on the back. But apart from that, I think the strap is awful. Not a good strap at all. It's not only is it coming apart, but it's also somehow stiff still. So it's like floppy in some places and absolutely stiff still. The one thing I changed on my version of this belt is you can see here, one, it's got the Wildcat texture, which is great. I'm a fan of that texture. Although on this, you can probably see how it's been applied here. I'm sure they've got some sort of plate, embossing plate, but you can see the pattern where it stops and starts here. But I changed the strap design on mine a little bit because I noticed on this part here, it doesn't really connect very well. They've just added these two little Tandy stamps to the blank areas, which looks okay on the stock strap, I guess, but I've seen a couple of re-leathers where it just doesn't connect or flow that well. So I changed that a little bit on my one. I gave mine a little bit of a Midwest makeover. So this is a bit more of a Midwest design, Midwest snap box, 2x5. And I gave it a smooth pear Midwest texture. But also I just added these boxes because I just feel like it helps the belt flow a little bit better. And I did that on the other side as well. Just to help it flow that little bit better. It just connects all together as one strap. Now this does have a tip, surprisingly heavy tip. Probably see it actually weighs down the leather a bit. Usually replica tips don't add much weight. They don't usually have that sort of pull. It's a 2-piece tip. Yeah, that's included as well. So the main plate shape, I feel like, is a bit of a nod to the big gold. The shape itself, it's got that clear shape of the big gold. I've just got mine out just to give a bit of a comparison. So you can see how it sort of goes up, curves up again, curves back down. That's just like the big gold here. However, on the bottom of the big gold, you'll see it points down to a little point here. Whereas on the TNA belt, they've obviously gone the opposite. They've inverted that and gone inwards. Just to give it a bit more character and a bit, make it a bit more unique to the big gold. The side plates, of course, they've gone in with a completely different direction compared to the 3 plates on the big gold. They've gone to 3 plates on each side. But I still think they look great because they've done something similar to what AEW eventually did, which was cut them in a way where it almost looks like they could connect together if they were pushed together, which is really cool. You can probably see the stacked globe parts on top. Very nice. It's the same on this side as well. Now they of course don't have a logo plate on this belt, understandably. You've got the big TNA logo here and you've almost got like 2 logo plates on either side. So you can only say TNA so many times on a belt before you'd be like, okay, it's definitely a TNA heavyweight championship. Let's have a quick look at the back. I just went for black backing. I feel like anything else would look a bit strange on this belt, to be honest. If you were to use red or blue, it would look a bit peculiar. So black it was. It is cool that they've added a center post. A lot of replicas don't have that. And because this is such a heavy belt, these plates are solid. So this is such a heavy belt, it's a good idea to have that on just for that extra security of it being attached to the leather well. I'll give the obligatory fold. It's not hard for this belt to be a floppy belt because it's got a lot of weight. A very, very nice belt. I think it's a quality design. I mean, if they were to remake these again, which I don't see them doing, but obviously if they were, they would obviously need to make some changes in terms of the choice of the materials that they use for the plates, and also quite clearly the plates or the material that they use for the straps. That was just a big fail. But the belt is looking good now. I'm very, very happy with it. And I truly recommend it. If you see one in the wild, I would just recommend to check the pictures closely because, again, these plates are prone to damage and it may not show up on a zoomed out photo. So ask for close-up pictures if you do find one. And I would highly recommend a re-leather as well, if it's still on the stock strap. Now this one is a Wildcat belt, so they of course went for a thick, wide leather cut around the main plate, which I'm a huge fan of anyway. But it just looks nice and neat and tidy because you got your edge, your beveled line, and then your camouflage tooling, and then the plate begins. And I think that's just a really smart look. That's It really helps the belt aesthetically, having everything in place. Anyway, guys, that's about all I have for this particular belt. I think it's a winner. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers, guys. Bye.